Prime Minister Tariq Rahman chairs high-level meeting on reopening closed state-owned factories by accelerating privatization and attracting local and foreign investment. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman hands over appointment letters to 3 persons with disability. Prime Minister raising hopes for desired administrative reforms in governance, says LGRD Minister. Indomitable spirit of liberation war embedded in spirit of July. This must be remembered in political processes of Bangladesh, says Information and Broadcasting Minister. Government working to combat human trafficking and cybercrime giving highest priority, says Home Minister. Government takes initiative to amend Transfer of Property Act, allowing parents to retain lifetime possessions of property even after transferring ownership to children, says Law Minister. US launches fresh strikes on Iran in retaliation for missile attack on US base in Jordan. Baghdad condemns over casualties in US-Saudi strikes in Iraq. And Brazil's all-time leading goal scorer Neymar officially announces retirement from international football. Assalamu alaikum. Welcoming your news at 10. I am Nazmin Khalik Zubair. Those were the headlines. Now move on to the details. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman asked the authorities concerned to complete the process of reopening long-shut government-owned factories by 2026 by expediting privatization initiatives and attracting domestic and foreign investment. The directive came at a high-level meeting chaired by the Prime Minister at the Cabinet Division Conference Room of Bangladesh Secretariat this afternoon. The meeting was decided to take necessary steps to reopen the long-shut industrial units by removing bureaucratic bottleneck and expediting the implementation process. The meeting also directed the relevant agencies to take effective initiatives to ensure a friendly environment to attract investments. Prime Minister's Advisor for Finance and Planning, Rashid Al Mahmood Titumir, Commerce, Industries and Textile and Jute Minister, Khondokar Abdul Muqtadir, State Minister for Textiles and Jute, Mohammad Shariful Alam, Executive Chairman of the Bangladesh Investment Development Authority, BIDA, Chaudhry Ashik Mahmood bin Harun, and senior officials of the ministries and agencies attended the meeting. Prime Minister Tariq Rahman handed over appointment letters to 3 persons with disabilities for making physically challenged people self-reliant and their integration to mainstream society. The Premier provided the appointment letters to them at his Cabinet Division office at the Bangladesh Secretariat this morning. The 3 recipients are Aisha Akhtar from Shagota Upazila of Gaibandha, Nila Khatun from Kamarkand Upazila of Shirajganj, and Mohammad Hashmut Ali from Narail Shodor Upazila. The recipients expressed their joy after receiving the appointment letters directly from the Prime Minister, describing the day as the beginning of both a new professional journey and new aspirations. Nila Khatun, who was born without both hands, completed her master's degree by writing with her feet. She has been appointed as a teacher at the National Foundation for the Development of the Disabled in Mirpur, Dhaka. Aisha Akhtar also completed her master's degree by writing with her feet. As she has no hands, she received her appointment letter with her mouth. She has been appointed as a class supervisor at BM Laboratory School and College in Gaibandha. Meanwhile, visually impaired Mohammad Hashmut Ali has been appointed as a union social worker under the Department of Social Services. Social Welfare and Women and Children Affairs Minister Professor Dr. A.Z.M. Zahid Hussain, State Minister for Women and Children Affairs Farzana Sharmin, Social Welfare Secretary Dr. Muhammad Abu Yusuf, Managing Director of the National Foundation for Development of the Disabled Persons Muhammad Tariqul Alam, and Director General of the Department of Social Services Shah Muhammad Mahbub, among others, were present. Founder of the Bangladesh Protibondhi Kollan Samiti, Abdus Sattar Dulal thanked the Prime Minister for providing employment opportunities to the 3 persons with disabilities. Dulal called on the Prime Minister immediately after the appointment letter handing over ceremony to express his gratitude. Sheikh Azizur Rahman, a valiant July fighter, bearing a bullet onto his head and 36 splinter marks on his body, met Prime Minister Tariq Rahman. During the meeting, he presented the Prime Minister with the historic blood-stained national flag he had tied around his head to stem the bleeding from a bullet owned during the height of the July 2024 mass uprising. The meeting was held at the Prime Minister's office in the Cabinet Division at Bangladesh Secretariat today. A recent media report titled, "Despite being shot, July fighter denied recognition over Chhatrodol affiliation," drew the attention on Prime Minister Tariq Rahman. The Premier subsequently directed his additional press secretary Atikur Rahman Rumon to look into the matter, following which arrangements were made for Azizur's meeting at the Prime Minister's office. During the meeting, the Prime Minister listened attentively to Azizur's account of his struggle, suffering and sacrifice. He inquired about his injury, education, efforts to finance his studies by driving a CNG-run auto rickshaw and the progress of his treatment. The Prime Minister was deeply moved and expressed sympathy after hearing about Azizur's difficult life journey. Presenting the blood-stained flag to the Prime Minister, Azizur said he was extremely happy and overwhelmed at meeting the Prime Minister in person. He said the Prime Minister had listened to his pain and inquired about his condition, describing it as one of the most memorable moments of his life. He added that he had long wished to present the blood-stained national flag to the Prime Minister, and the wish had finally been fulfilled. During the July 2024 mass uprising, Azizur first drew attention after hoisting the national flag on Mirpur 10 flyover. He was later seriously injured by police gunfire during the movement. With a bullet onto his head and bleeding heavily, he tied the Bangladesh national flag around his head to stop the blood flow, and the flag became stained with his blood. Even in that condition, he did not leave the streets. Despite sacrifice and courage, Azizur was denied recognition as a July fighter for 2 years due only to his political identity. Local Government, Rural Development and Cooperatives Minister Mirza Fakhrul Islam Alamgir has said that the Prime Minister's leadership is inspiring hope for achieving the desired changes in the aftermath of the July mass uprising. Information and Broadcasting Minister Zahiruddin Shapon said that the spirit of the Liberation War is embodied in the spirit of July, and that is the must be remembered throughout the political process. They made these remarks this morning at a program organized by the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting to mark July Martyrs' Day. As part of the observance, a photography exhibition was held at the Information Building in the capital. Along with LGRD Minister and Information and Broadcasting Minister, State Minister Yasir Khan Chaudhry also attended the event. They also unveiled several publications focusing on the July uprising. The brother of July martyr, Mir Mugdho, expressed hope that the current government would build the Bangladesh envisioned by those who sacrificed their lives. The local government minister expressed regret that the desired changes have yet to be fully realized. Speakers at the event called for the construction of a separate memorial dedicated to the July uprising. They also stressed the need to ensure a healthy environment for political competition and urged political leaders to honor the sacrifices made by ordinary people during the July movement by becoming models of positive change. Home Minister Salahuddin Ahmed has said the government is giving the highest priority to protecting citizens from human trafficking and technology-enabled crimes. He made the remarks while addressing a program in Dhaka today marking International Day Against Human Trafficking 2026. The event highlighted the tragic incident in March this year when a boat carrying migrants drifted at sea for 6 days after losing its way while traveling from Libya to Greece. At least 18 Bangladeshi nationals, including 12 from Sunamganj, died due to a lack of food and drinking water. Despite such tragedies, the desire to migrate to Europe through irregular means remains strong. According to a Bragg study, although many migrants were lured with promises of good jobs, 98% failed to secure employment after reaching their destination. Experts at the event said that human trafficking networks are increasingly using social media, particularly Facebook groups, to target young people. The government has recently issued a new ordinance updating the Prevention and Suppression of Human Trafficking Act 2012, making it more responsive to current challenges. However, experts stress that enhancing the capacity of law enforcement agencies is essential to effectively apprehend traffickers. The Home Minister said that the government alone cannot prevent human trafficking, emphasizing that collective efforts from all sectors of society are needed to combat the crime. Among the speakers at the program were Senior Secretary of the Ministry of Home Affairs Manzoor Morshid Chaudhry, Secretary of the Law and Justice Division Liaquat Ali Mullah, Inspector General of Police Ali Hussain Fakir, and Dr. Laura Tom Bond, the newly appointed Chief of Mission of the International Organization for Migration (IOM) in Bangladesh. Health and Family Welfare Minister Sardar Mohammad Shawkat Hossain urged doctors to discourage unnecessary cesarean section deliveries for pregnant women. He also stressed the importance of encouraging mothers to breastfeed their babies with colostrum, the first breast milk after birth. The Health Minister made the remarks this morning while speaking at a program at NIPSOM in the capital's Mohakali, where the result of a research project were unveiled. Sardar Shawkat Hossain said doctors are the last hope for many patients, and their kind work and caring attitude can help people recover mentally. Bangladesh has recorded 3 more deaths and 467 hospitalizations from dengue fever over the past 24 hours. The Directorate General of Health Services, DGHS, has recorded 35 deaths from the fever in July, raising the year's death toll to 53. According to the DGHS bulletin issued on Thursday, 467 patients were admitted to hospitals across the country with the Aedes mosquito-borne disease in the 24 hours to 8 a.m. Thursday. During the same period, 483 patients recovered and were discharged from hospitals. Since January 1st, a total of 15,157 dengue patients have been hospitalized across the country, while 13,935 have recovered and been discharged. Health experts warned that dengue could take a severe turn throughout August and September unless mosquito control efforts are intensified and public awareness and personal preventive measures are significantly strengthened. Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs Minister Mohammad Asaduzzaman has said the government is planning to amend the Transfer of Property Act to allow parents to retain lifetime possession and enjoyment of property even after transferring ownership to their children. He made the remarks today at the Secretariat while addressing the signing ceremony of Memorandums of Understanding (MOU) on legal aid between the government and non-governmental organizations BRAC and BLAST. The minister said that the majority of civil cases in the country involve property disputes, inheritance, and the division of assets. He added that the government is therefore considering several amendments to the Transfer of Property Act. Referring to the provisions of Hiba under Muslim law, wills under Hindu law, and Wasiyat under Muslim law, the minister said when parents transfer property to their children through Hiba, they lose legal ownership of those assets and often become financially dependent on their children. To address this issue, the Law Minister said the government plans to strengthen the relevant provisions of the Transfer of Property Act by expanding them in line with the 1963 ruling of the Supreme Court of Pakistan, allowing parents to retain lifetime rights of use and possessions even after transferring ownership. Sergio Gore, the U.S. Special Envoy for South and Central Asia, held a meeting with Foreign Minister Khalilur Rahman this evening. The meeting took place at the State Guest House Padda in the capital. During the meeting, they discussed strengthening bilateral cooperation between the United States and Bangladesh and working together. The Prime Minister's Foreign Affairs Advisor Humayun Kabir and the U.S. Ambassador to Dhaka, Brent Christensen, were present on the occasion. Earlier, U.S. Envoy Sergio Gore arrived in Dhaka on Thursday afternoon. Tomorrow, he will visit Cox's Bazar to inspect the situation of Rohingya refugees in person. On Saturday, he is expected to meet Prime Minister Tariq Rahman. US President Donald Trump's special envoy on South and Central Asian affairs, Sergio Gore, today began his first official visit to Bangladesh. His trip expected to further strengthen bilateral strategic ties and deepen cooperation in regional security and economic issues. Welcoming the envoy, US Ambassador to Bangladesh Brent T. Christensen described Gore as a friend of Bangladesh and said the visit would reinforce the growing partnership between the two countries. The ambassador said a visit would help strengthen Bangladesh-US strategic relations as well as cooperation on regional security and economic issues. State Minister for Foreign Affairs Shama Obaid has said number of automatic visa cancellations in the UAE, which was reported in the media, is not accurate. The number of visas cancelled in 626, she added. The State Minister made the disclosure at a briefing at her office today. She informed that the United Arab Emirates government has been requested to reissue visa for 417 individuals. Shama Obaid urged all the expatriates, including of the UAE, to be respectful to the laws of the relevant country. Prime Minister's Foreign Affairs Advisor Humayun Kabir called on Nepalese Ambassador to Bangladesh, Ghanshyam Bhandari, at Prime Minister's Tejgaon office today. During the call-on, the two sides exchanged views on the existing friendly relations between Bangladesh and Nepal, as well as a range of issues of mutual interest. They reaffirmed their commitment to enhance cooperation in trade, power, regional connectivity, tourism and other areas, recognizing the importance of closer collaboration for mutual benefit. The International Crimes Tribunal today ordered former Minister Abdul Latif Siddiqui to be sent to jail in a crimes against humanity case over the killings during a Hifazat-e-Islam rally at Shapla Chattor in the capital on 5th May 2013. A three-member bench of International Crimes Tribunal 2, led by its chairman Justice Nazrul Islam Chaudhry, passed the order. Two other members of the bench are Justice Muhammad Manzurul Bashir and Justice Nur Muhammad Shahriar Kobir. Prosecutor Mizanul Islam represented the prosecution during the hearing. Speaking to reporters, the prosecutor said Latif Siddiqui was one of the planners of the 5th May mass killings at Shapla Chattor. Detectives of the Dhaka Metropolitan Police arrested Abdul Latif Siddiqui from his residence in Gulshan yesterday evening following an arrest warrant issued by the tribunal.